Well, hello again, my friends. It's been quite a while, but here we are together again. Today I want to do a little thing for you called bug trafficking. Yes, bug trafficking. Told from a Caribbean Canadian perspective in richly blended language mix of nonsense talk, sensational spelling, Jamaican patois. Yes, wordplay is the order of the day around here. Yeah, man. At Jamaica yard me come from. Sorry, I meant to say I'm Jamaican born and bred, okay? So, after having been subjected to some proper talking to from my good friend at the university, I decided to rewrite this piece, a piece that was previously published elsewhere. At the same time, I also took the opportunity to split the piece in two to properly consolidate the two prevailing school of thoughts into separate pieces. Thanks again to my good friend, Professor D. Here's the result of that in two parts. This is part one, bug trafficking. Meanwhile, as a baby daddy wannabe on one leg of my journey, spent way too many wasted hours in traffic jamming. Yes, they were all around me across the city, town, and the country. Construction work was what they said to me that day. Yes, it's what's going on out there on the motorway, even now. We are building up the city and remaking it shiny and new like what? Like oh little genie? Yes, because they are so in love with me. And yes, you too. Then they go off polishing my shoe with what was dropping from above my kid's knee. And you? The greatest root behind all of this, though, my youth man pick me, is you and I never got to see it through to the end of the quiz. We are always too busy worrying about the next cup of tea and about when next our favorite artist will be featured on TV, like whilst doing a super gig somewhere over there in Tel Aviv. Yes, cousin Vivian, go tell that guy named Vivian he's making mischief with me and he needs to stop it. So the streets all across this town remained in lockdown, with orange cones, heavy-duty machinery, and the concrete blocks all around. So you were forced to turn around and go back home to go and stay in lockdown behind the doorstep and listen to rock and roll. Rocking your nerve, yes, whilst rolling over the ancestors' graves to yet more crops on which to get them sold on the sale, selling them on all the virtues of getting them saved, whilst reminiscing about the good old days, those that other folks liked to call days in those days. Well, we'll move these obstacles around and out of the way a tiny bit, so they say, like off to one side of the freeway to free up your pathway for 5 working days a week, okay? So that you may be able to squeeze your way and go through or come in again in June, bringing your labor like the real wonderful blessings that they are to us, them, and yes, him also. Not you though, no, my friends, won't do so. But to those who are ours, our realest of friends walking barefooted towards the cowards, squared and crooked. But as soon as you are done doing that, be sure to go back home and sit down. We don't want to have you driving around out here in any of your beautiful automobiles. Do you hear me, O'Neill? Yes? Well, certainly not whilst having any of your many wonderful babies beside you at the wheel. Oh dear. Not even if you were trying to go and see the others with whom you have already made a pledge and signed the deal. No, these concrete blocks and the piles of hard-boiled cushions will be piling it up on your boneless horse at the bottoms for us, while we stand aside and look. Woo! Some days it's just the smarts among us who are left here gazing at you there whining and cursing out our guts. Tough luck, you had said, but the poet has spoken. Over to you to like, share, and comment. We sure would appreciate it if you would subscribe and follow us somewhere too. Thank you. Coming soon, part 2.